This is Matt with Matt's BBQ Pits, and today we're going to go over part 2 of setting up your electronic temperature control system for the large smoker. Now remember, this is the unit that controls the fan, but it's not going to give you a digital readout to your cell phone. So that requires your second Bluetooth unit. Well, let's show you how to set it up. Okay, so here's my fan controller here, and then I've got my Inkbird Bluetooth reader that'll send the temp data to my cell phone, where I can get graphs and program what temperature my meat's done and so forth. We're going to focus on the fan controller, how to set it, and first how to calibrate it with the other temp probe system. So we'll go ahead and power it on. Flip the switch, and notice mine's saying 116, 117 on the Inkbird. Now, I've got the probes alligator clipped right next to each other. Why is that important? It's important because you want to be able to read the same airflow. You might have a different airflow and temperature right next to the smokestack than you do this part. It might be a little bit different temp over here. So you're going to be off on calibration if you have them in different places. Now let's say we want to close the gap between the two. And before you calibrate them, you do want to wait, for them to get to the same temperature. And I'd say they're pretty close to calibration. They kind of jump back and forth a little bit within a degree or two. So you'd hit the set button. All right. And then we want to skip over a couple of digits with this button. Type in code 89. Oh, went too far. Skip over 89. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Hit the set button again. Now, we're not going to worry about these settings, but click the up arrow until you get to PSB. Hit set again. All right. Now we want to bump this one up to 4. If you have an ice water, that's a pretty good way to do it. But let's say your other unit doesn't have the ability to go and adjust it like that. See, we're at 120 here, 122 here. We could go and set that again. Code 89, set button. Go to PSB, set. Set. End. 120 and 122. 120, 121. Yeah, so we're pretty close. And now that we've got that set, once you start your fire, you can set your desired temperature. That's simple. Once it's back to the main screen, we can just hit the up and down arrows to make adjustments. If you press it, it'll go up really fast or down really fast. You see? So you want to be mindful of that. I like to run my unit around 300. Sometimes higher, but this will get us there. Okay, so I flipped on my fan controller after I lit the fire, and it says 279 in there. I have it set for 300. It's heating it up. My Inkbird controller says 280, because after I waited a little bit with the heat up, I sort of calibrated it again, to fine tune it a little better, so they would match. So then when I go to my Inkbird app on my cell phone, I'm getting the same temperature that the fan controller is reading. Now, this controller has several ways to program. We're probably just going to be using the auto tune method. It's the simplest, probably the easiest for a backyard cook to use and understand, without a lot of calculus. And, it's automatically set that way unless you change it. So once it gets the desired temp, the fan will click off. You'll notice it cycle on and off a little bit as it gets close to your desired set temperature, and that's normal. It's just making sure that it doesn't overshoot too much, because we're hoping to limit the overshoot. Time to get out of the heat and get something cold to drink, or maybe to get some work done. You can see the initial spike in temperature as the controller was learning how long to turn the fan on for, because the controller needs to have the fan running even when it is at temperature, just shorter duration, less time. And then you can see on the graph as an hour went by, when the wood started burning down to coals. And then you can see again where at the end where we added wood and the temperature increased. Don't forget to remove your fan when you completed your cook. I like to recommend a practice run before you put the meat on, because there's a lot to learn about managing the log timing and so forth, and getting used to this controller first, and it's just the best way to do things. Thank you for watching my channel, and we'll see you soon.